Here's an area of possible manipulation. We just got some weird stuff here that doesn't seem to be natural. We got some bust overs, which could have come out of the ground naturally, but for it to pile its own branches up, forming an X, to me doesn't seem real probable. Also, we go over here into this. Again, a lot of stuff put in together, different ages, top of different things. You can see right here the type of manipulation. We've got older, newer mixed together. If we look down here, this isn't even on the ground. You know, again, it is possible that came off this guy, but just with that much older one being in the tree over the top of that. We go on over here, and it was definitely snapped off, just bent over. Then we also come back around, we got this little gem. Again, it just doesn't seem real logical that that real old stuff there is on top of the newer stuff. We also have what appears to be possible body impressions here with it. But you just take a look at how intricate this actually looks. Very old, moss grown, sitting on top. There's newer stuff with even the smaller stuff. What got me here was a pointer that I saw here just a while back, so I walked in that direction. Here's another suspected weird area. Came into it, and you know, for the most part, you can see where things seem to be laced together above. Bunch of stuff pushed over, and almost like it's in certain directions to catch others, to hold it down. Again, I'm not saying nature couldn't do a lot of this stuff, but nonetheless, when I come up and find things like this, it makes it very suspect. This tree here was actually at one time broke off, and that part was hanging down before it was pushed over. Now, if you take a look at right here, kind of in all of this, we've got some massive intertwining and setting things together. Both of these are some older branches, kind of wrapped up and tied into one. Even this here is not attached to the ground there. We continue on down this way, and you can see that there was a broken one that's helping to hold down all that. This one here is still alive. And then again, we've got all this to go with it. We continue to cycle down. There be a broken one at the top. You can see it there. Got another real old piece over there that's been propped up into it. More apparent damage down below. The only place where we've really seen this is again in this new area. We're over in the X's area. Very inconclusive, but again in the next breath very interesting, because there seems to be more of this stuff being brought here, if you will. I don't know what's the reason for making these things, but I suspect that they are made. I'm seeing too much here to just call it nature. Another kind of a suspicious feature. If you take a look down at the bottom, all these branches are kind of laid up and laid on top of other stuff. One on the far right here definitely looks like it's been rotting on the ground for a while before it was tipped up there. This other one comes up, and again, definitely seems older. And that one snapped around as if it was actually a tree at one time. Again, it could possibly be. But then we turn around and go 180 on it. And we've got another one that just kind of seems to have been laid up and top jammed in between. This one here, I can't even really tell where it came from. It doesn't appear to be a local branch. I guess the sun's getting in it. Get around the other side. You can see it just kind of hanging in midair here. And this one laid up into it. And there's no real place of anything that old that had come down. Again, if you can continue down, you can see other places that look just a little on the suspicious side. Again, I can't say for sure, but in looking around all of this, I sure did find it odd. Down from that area, we can see we got ourselves a real good sized bow here. Now, again, trees fall, catch other trees. Again, it's definitely been here for a while because it is still growing. But one thing that caught my interest is this little branch right here. If you take a look at it, it would look nothing more than just a typical branch or possibly tree sitting there in the ground. And one thing that is really interesting is there's leaf litter under it. This has been set from another broken branch someplace. This has been set on here by something. The way it's wrapped around in here, up on this top side, it really can't come out of there because it's been put in with live. Now, how that could have ever fallen through all of that and ended up like this is really weird. Again, it is on top of leaf litter. It is not part of a tree that's growing there. When that got my interest, I came down a little bit. Now again, you can see that this bow has grown since it's been fallen. But it sure does seem like a real old piece. It came off no place. Was laid on top of this, making the bow down. Now here's the view from it. Again, an area of a lot of different debris laying on the ground, but none of it quite seems to fit anything else. Got older pieces on top of newer pieces. Again, another one of those possibilities. Definitely need more time here. I just ran into this, and again, I suspect this is man-made, but I thought it'd be worth taking a look at. You can see a bunch of old logs kind of piled up. Sticks kind of laying in there. Again, I can't say for sure because I don't know the history of this area. But just the way all this stuff is laid up in here, again, it would almost look like a old hunting type blind. However, some of it doesn't seem like it's been like that long ago since it's been set up here. There's some of the small stuff, and especially this one over here that's stuck into there. But again, overall, I'm thinking that it is something man-made. Get this out of the way. Something that is man-made, but again, not something you normally run into in the woods. Well, there's all sorts of neat stuff that I've been finding today. We're going to take a look at this one here. From here, it looks about normal. There's a tree that's busted the top off, landed branches. Not a big deal. Kept coming up to it. Something really caught my eye. I mean, here we got this one. Yeah, okay, it's stuck up in this Y. Not a big deal. And this one on the ground. Old break, probably hung up in the tree. But then down here we've got 1, 2 completely fresh breaks. And they're not here. There's no visible sign of where those 2 branches are laying. So if indeed that was a normal fall and break, those branches should be laying here, and they're not. This is just a panoramic around it. This is just down from where that, I took a picture of the rock on the stump. I think that's probably a man, but it was a cut off stump. Really, really, really old stump with a rock on it. Nonetheless, I find it to be interesting. Here's what is considered an X, but this thing is kind of elaborate. See if I can get back here to get the whole thing in. Now when you get up closer to it and start inspecting it, you can see everything that's put up in through that. All in that one area. We come down here, we got this piece that mysteriously came up and laid in there. The only funny thing about it is there's an old break. And this side's got new breaks on it. These other ones appear to have been pushed down into it. You can see it's been there for a while. And now this one seems to have been brought to it. That one is attached also. But if it wasn't for the other stuff in this area, I would reconsider that this would be something natural. But again, when we have a piece that has been brought over here, look around the area. There is no place where that fresh break stuff has gone in this area. Everything on the ground, much, much older. All the way around we go. Nothing that matches that. So it would appear that this has been picked up off the ground and brought over here and set into this X. You can see with the rot and different things on this thing, it's not a fresh piece. But again, that's the way that X looks up in there. Some folks think this is a boundary marker. Time will tell.